Hey you beautiful people, I am back again with this look. I have loved this look and I just can't wait to share this video with you. So let's begin. And the palette that I have used today is Balm Nude Volume 2, and the first shade from the palette that I have used is Fiesty. And using a fluffy blending brush, I'm just going in over the crease line in circular motion just like this, and concentrating more on the outer corner and then dragging it towards the inner corner just like this, always in circular motion. And then the second shade from the same palette is Flawless, and this goes over the crease line with a small medium brush, I could say medium blending brush, and concentrating more on the outer corner and then dragging it towards the inner corner. And then I'm using a little bit more bigger blending brush just to diffuse it some more into the crease line, as you can see. And this is how basically I do it. And then adding some more of the product, some more of the shade Flawless to the outer corner, and then dragging it more towards the inner corner. And then adding some loose powder under the eye to prevent any fallout from the dark shades, especially when you have done the foundation. This is a very important step. And then using Friendly from the same palette, it's a beautiful purplish color and I loved it. This goes basically on the entire eyelid, just leaving the center. And I am using a blending brush as it's really very easy for me to diffuse, and it's a bit small blending brush, quite small, that it fits the inner corner of my eyes. So basically yeah, it's that small, and just leaving the center and then going around the entire eyelid, your crease line, the outer corner and the inner corner. And as just keep adding more of the shade and keep diffusing the shade. It's very important to diffuse and pulling out the shade a little bit. And next thing that I'm using is the concealer, the MAC concealer palette, and the shade is NC42, and I'm just going to fill up the center of the eyelid just like this, using a flat brush, a small flat brush, a small or big, whatever suits you, just use it, but not a blending brush here. So leaving the crease line, just the center, concentrate more on the center, and this is how it's done basically. And adding more of the concealer and covering the shades that I've used before. So basically just giving a blank center, just giving an effect of a blank center, just like this. You could just drag the brush in the center and just leaving the outer, the surrounding area. And then using Flirty from the same palette, I'm just going to use it in the center just like this, covering the concealer, and using a flat brush for this too. So this is how the shade looks. It's a very beautiful shade. And some more of the product, some more of the shade. Just keep adding the shade as much as you want. And then going back to Friendly, I'm just going to diffuse the corners just like this, using the same blending brush that I've used before. Everything should be just diffused and nice and subtle. So that's the reason we use the blending brush to diffuse as much as we can. Dusting off the loose powder again, and then applying it again to work on the lower lash line just like this. So basically applying some more of the loose powder. It's very important to apply loose powder, especially if you've done your foundation, basically to prevent any fallouts. And going back to the first shade for the lower lash line, that is Fiesty, that is Fisty actually. It's not Fiesty, sorry. It's Fisty. And then on the lower lash line with a small smudging brush, smudging the lower lash line, that's it. And then going Friendly again. Basically I'm just dipping the shade on the entire lower lash line, as you can see, and because it's a very dark shade and I just don't want to mess up the foundation that I have, and then I'm just going to add some more and connecting it upwards and then smudging it just like this. So this way you have a proper control of the shadow of the shade, and you know exactly how much to add and how much to diffuse. So yep, and then I'm just going to add little by little, and then I'm just going to darken a little bit more the outer corner and the crease line, the inner corner, and the lower lash line too, just like this. Just keep adding the product more and more as and when required. You see, this is how the blending brush works, and it's very essential to have a blending brush. Keep adding the product little by little and keep diffusing it little by little, just like this, basically. Wiping off the loose powder again and just dusting it with a clean brush. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the friendly shadow, not friendly, flirty shadow right in the center. For the eyeliner, I have used NARS pen, and this is color black, and just going with the natural line. I am not going to create any kind of a wing or nothing. It's just a straight line that I'm going to create. So basically there is no wing or nothing as such. It's just a straight line that I have created with the pen, and as you can see, I'm just smoothing it up a little bit and building it up a little bit, thickening it up at the same time and darkening it too. I'm using Fearless from the same palette, and this goes on the brow bone just to highlight it, and I didn't want it to be too flashy, so that's the reason I selected a subtle shade from the palette, and goes on the brow bone. The gel liner I have used is NYX, and this goes right over the NARS pen that I have used before. Basically this just darkens the line and it looks more glamorous when you have the gel over the pen, when you just do this method. So it just darkens the black. This is what I mean to say. complete the look with your favorite false eyelashes, I have done mine. And then just to fill up the waterline, I have used NYX, the white pen, the white pencil. As you can see, it's a little bit fat, so it has just smudged and gone overboard. And I'm just going to fix this up. As you can see, I'm just dipping the brush in the shade Friendly, and I am just going to fix the white. I'm just going to fix the problem. And then for the mascara, I have used NYX Doll Eye, and this goes on the lower lash line too. Pretty nice mascara this is actually. I like it. To contour my face, I have used Hourglass stick, and this is actually a foundation stick, but I have got 2 or 3 shades darker than my normal skin tone, and the shade is actually Golden Almond, and I am going to contour my face with it. As you can see, I like the shade, and I don't get this in any contouring palette. I like the kind of look it gives afterwards. And then not forgetting to contour my face. Not forgetting to contour my nose a little bit. Make sure you just go a little light with it, as it's not essential to go really dark with your contouring. Basically, it's just to enhance your own natural features, and it makes a huge difference. As you can see, it's a nice shade. See, and then going over the jawline. If you like, you just use a beauty blender. Lately, I have stopped using the beauty blender, not of any reason. It's just that the brush suits me, and it's just that I have. It's easy for me to use the brush, and it's easy for me to blend with the brush. So that's the reason I have stopped using the beauty blender for some time. But I'm going to get back. It's not going to be away from me for too long. So yep. And just diffusing all the lines that I have created on the face with the brush. Just like that. Into the hairline. Always. Just keep diffusing it and pushing it into the hairline. And the concealer I have used is NARS, and my shade is Ginger. As you can see, it's a nice concealer. I have stuck to it, and I don't know when I'm going to change this, but I still I feel this concealer really works for me, and I'm not going to change it for some time now. And then I'm just going to diffuse it into the skin. Basically, the concealer is just used to highlight the area under the eyes, and to make it look more awakened and more bright. And yep, not forgetting to add a loose powder over the concealer. I have used NARS loose powder. It's very essential, otherwise the concealer will crease up. For the cheeks, I have used NYX Sweet Cheek Palette, and this is the shade that I've used from the palette. Basically, I'm just going to dip the palette on the face and then mixing it up with my bronzer by Hourglass, and the name of the bronzer is Radiant Bronze Light. Just like this, I'm just going to dab a little bit of the shade onto the blush that I've used before, and then also on the forehead and jawline and the nose too. basically all the areas that I have used the cream to contour. I'm just going to conceal it, and I'm just going to seal it with the powder, with the bronzing powder, and also a little bit on the nose, just like that. I like it. It looks nice. You need to excuse that pimple near my nose. Just ignore it and avoid it. And the highlighter I have used, and then I have just used a clean brush, and I'm just going to diffuse all of it, like diffuse it into the skin so that it just looks very natural, and the blush doesn't look obvious on the face, and the bronzer doesn't look obvious on the face. So just going to diffuse all of it using a clean brush, just like this, diffusing it some more, as much as I could, as much as I can. I'm just going to diffuse all of it. So the skin looks really nice, and it looks pretty natural, and it looks flawless actually. So that's how I do it. For the highlighter I have used is MAC Hyper Real Glow, and I have used the last shade. I have misplaced the name card actually from the box, and I can just say that I have to use the last shade from the palette, and it's a bit of a rose gold, and this goes on the cheekbone. Yep, just like that. And then I have used the first shade from the palette just on the nose and my lips and the chin. It's a nice highlighter. I liked it. I love it. And not forgetting the chin too. And the lipstick, the lip shade that I have used is NYX Liquid Suede, and this shade is called Brooklyn Pawn. And that's it. We are towards the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys liked the look as much as I enjoyed creating this look for you. I shall see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.